Okay, so welcome, everyone. This is the top 5 things that hold people back from what they really want. And today we are doing Motivational Monday. And so, what I'm going to do on Mondays is go through a presentation that is just kind of coaching in regards to different topics. We do it every other week. And so, hopefully, you will find something in this that you can gain as information, knowledge, and things that you can really utilize towards your goals in the future. So I'm going to go ahead, jump in, get started, and leave time at the end for any questions that anybody has. So we'll begin. So, the purpose of this training and our agenda is really to talk about your potential greatness, to talk about your goals, your aspirations, how you are destined for more in life and you have some untapped potential that you can reach into. And so during this session, as it says here, we will address any key obstacles that you might have that could be hindering you back from the progress that you could be making towards your goals, and then also give you an actionable plan so that way it can help you to overcome them and move closer to what it is that you really want and desire. Now, a little about myself. So, I am Lenora, or Coach Lenora, as people sometimes say. And my journey really has taken me from growing up on our small family farm, rural Virginia, to corporate skyscrapers and Fortune 500 companies. I graduated from VCU. I had 2 majors, stayed an extra semester to get that extra major. So, psychology and rehabilitative services. So, dealing a lot with people, not only people kind of understanding from the inside, but also physically supporting people from the outside when you think of the rehabilitation services. And I have been a certified life coach since 2008. So my personal passions are really about being a dog mom. I'm not in mom of children, but I am a dog mom. I also love collecting medals. As you can see in this picture, I am a medal chaser. If it's a race that doesn't have a medal, I'm probably not going to do it. And then also, I love to travel the world. So throughout some of my content in the future as well, you might see videos of me and some of my travels going a little bit of everywhere. And I just really enjoy getting out and about and seeing different people and different cultures, and just from where I came from, just a small country girl on a farm, to be able to then go and travel the world and do those things and see people in different places. I never thought that that potential was even possible for me growing up. And then to know that I have done those things, it's just very exciting and rewarding. And so my mission really is to assist individuals who feel unfulfilled. Another word I'm hearing a lot is overwhelmed. Another word I'm hearing a lot is stuck, and either burnt out. It says here, stuck in a rut. To shift their mindset and to realize that if you start setting some clear goals and you start to work towards what your purpose is, the fulfillment that you will have from that will be extraordinary. And it will help you to break free of those routines that you have that just keep you complacent and keep you in the same place and feeling that way, which is stuck. And it also will, in return, help you to get a more fulfilled life. And for me personally, my goal is to serve people on their journey towards their purpose. And in the process of doing that, I'll just get blessed on the backside of that. So that is my goal. And that is what part of this training is going to cover today, is just what's holding you back from what you really want. Because once you can get past those obstacles, it'll really help you to get to where you want to be, and that life of happiness instead of complacency. So to begin, not knowing what you want, number one, not knowing what you want. That can be huge in regards to being able to get there, because you have to have a map, right? You have to have a destination. It's like getting in a car in Virginia and saying, I want to make it to California, and you have no map. So when was the last time that you truly thought about, what is it that I actually want? Like, not just getting up, going to work, going to the gym, going to the grocery store, coming home, going to sleep, watching TV, whatever it is, your normal day-to-day routine over and over and over again. But what is it that you truly, truly want? And figuring that out first and foremost. Now, number two, are your intentions clear? So are you someone who, once you figure out what you want, you have a very keen and clear intention towards what it is and how you potentially can get there? So what are those intentions and are they clear? And, when I say intentions, a lot of times that's because I like to leave space for God. And not to get churchy, but just to kind of speak from that perspective, is that you could have a goal, right, of where you want to go, when you want to get there, the time frame, all of that. But a goal is just an idea until it becomes reality. And for me personally, I like intention setting a little bit better because you're intending to do something. You're putting in the work. You're taking the action towards that goal to happen on a particular day, by a particular, like losing weight by July or something to that effect, right? But it actually coming to pass, it actually being something that you see in your reality may somewhat be out of your control. And so you have to let the divine come in as well and help you towards realizing that, look, I have my intention, but if it's a week earlier or a week later or a month earlier or a month later, at least I'm closer to my goal than where I was if I never did anything at all, right? And then write it out and make what you want very plain. So that is something that you absolutely should do, whether it's your journaling or whether it's you're using, which you'll find in our Victorious Movement community, the 3-6-9 method, where you just write it out 3 times in the morning, 6 times in the afternoon, 9 times at night, and kind of getting it embedded into your mindset. That is really huge. And that is a training that, again, is in the Victorious Movement. I believe it's under mindset or abundance. I can't remember which one, but definitely something that you can look into more to just say, what is it about the physical writing? And it's covered in there. What is it about the physical writing out of this that helps to ingrain it into me and into my psyche? Now, number 2, not asking for what you want. So, it says ask and you shall receive, right? So, what is it that you would want to ask for? So, you have to verbalize it. If you just have something that you want in your head, in your brain, and you never actually say it, then that in itself is kind of slowing down the progress, right? It is not something that you have kind of spoken to, prayed to, hoped for, and wished for, and said out loud. So, verbalizing it and just saying, maybe even as an affirmation, for those of you who follow me and know I'm huge on affirmations, but maybe even saying it as an affirmation out loud. Like, for example, it could be, if it is, again, I use the example of losing weight, but if it is something for losing weight, you could say, nothing tastes as good as being skinny feels. Right? And that's your affirmation, right? Nothing tastes as good as being skinny feels. So, and I mean, skinny is a relative word, right? But, and it just puts into your head like, before I make that decision, is it going to taste as good as me being healthy on the back end of that is going to feel? So just kind of thinking of how you want to potentially say things so that way, as you are getting ready to move in a certain direction, that's a typical pattern that you would take, you're like, let me think about this. Let me see if it's worth it. Is it serving me, or is it something that I'm just doing because my patterns and my habits have me going in that direction? Number 2, you have to see it before you can seize it. So what are you visualizing? What are you seeing in your mind's eye as something that that, hey, I see this. I see it clearly. I see it happening. I see me in that dress that I can't fit right now. I see me, sashaying down the street and looking amazing, whatever that is. And I'm staying on the weight loss thing for some reason. But if it's those same examples, but if you do see it in your mind, if you create a vision board for it, you would be surprised how many things with a vision board will come to pass. I have seen it myself personally over and over and over again. I had things to come into reality that I forgot. Like, I've seen the vision board so much, I forgot it was even on there. And when it happened, it took me months to put together that, oh, that's the exact thing that I had over here. And I was watching every single day, but I didn't put together that what I had on a piece of paper or what I had on a vision board actually came to life. So you have to see it in your mind's eye before you can seize it. And then you have to express gratitude for what you already have. So, what is it that you already have that you need to express gratitude for? If you're in, again, the community, the Victorious Movement, we have an attitude of gratitude section where every day you can come out and just say, what are you grateful for today? What is it today that I just want everybody to know that I'm grateful for? And it can be anything. It could be the ears to hear this, the eyes to see this. It could be, for example, for me today, it was about friends and family. It can also be about the fact that you have discernment to be able to make decisions in such a way that it takes you to the left when some people would say you should have gone to the right. So all of those things, I mean, it could be literally anything, but what are you grateful for? Because if you're not grateful for what you already have, then how do you expect the abundance of more? So it's really important to be grateful for what you already have in your current space, even if it's not everything you want. But there has to be some things within that you're grateful for, and recognizing that so that more and more can come your way. All right, number 3, a lack of belief in what you deserve. So, like, that you deserve what you want. Let me clarify. So, a lack of belief that you deserve what you want. So, there are a lot of people who have limiting beliefs about themselves. They have imposter syndrome. They have this fear of, oh, I can't step into that space. What would people say about me? What would people do if I were to say that this is who I am, or this is what I could do, or this is who I've become? So, getting into that mindset of, do I even deserve what it is that I want, is really key. So, what you have to do is think, has there been anything that has happened in your past that has impacted your belief in this area? What is there that has happened that made you say, maybe I don't deserve what I want? Because children aren't coming out of the womb saying, I don't deserve this, I don't deserve that. If anything, kids are like, it's mine. I deserve it. I should have it, right? When they're having their little temper tantrums, right? It's mine, it's mine, it's mine. You can't have it. You can't play with it. All of this. So we did not come out of the womb thinking there's something that isn't mine. There's something that I shouldn't have. There's something that I don't deserve. So what shifted, what changed in our adulting that got us to the point that we feel as though, I'm not worthy. That's not for me. That's not what I should be able to have in my life. And then think of a time of when something that you actually did believe in came true. So maybe it was something that you did feel like you were able to do, that you could have success in, that it was something that you were worthy of, and that thing actually did come to pass. So then, if you had to ask a genie in a bottle and you just said, hey, what would I ask for? If you're rubbing that lamp and you're saying, "Ah, if I knew that I deserved everything that my heart desires, and I could have that right here on this earth, and I could just ask that genie for my 3 wishes, what would that look like? What would that be? What would you say? This is the thing that is my true heart's desire and what I want." Because when you think about that, that is in your spirit for a reason. Like, God put that in your spirit for a reason. Why did he put that heart's desire there? And, by the way, give you free will. That's deep, right? So you have the heart's desire and you have free will. So therefore, he's not going to let you have it, because a lot of people think, oh, it should be easy. I should just have it. If God, put it in my heart and God wants me to have it, he will bless me with it, right? No, that's where your action comes in. That's where your free will comes in. That's where you have to put the work behind what it is that you want so you can show how bad you want it. So it's not going to happen by osmosis. It's not going to happen just by living your life, because as you know, all the life you've lived to this point, it hasn't made it a reality, right? So therefore, just living doesn't do it. It takes inspired action for you to take in order for it to be like, oh, now you're walking by faith. Now you're stepping into your purpose. Now you are experiencing the treasures that I put within you, and probably even serving and supporting others in doing so. Because a lot of times the treasure that we have within us is something that is going to bless somebody else on the other side of that. So what would that genie do for you if you had that genie in the bottle and could truly get what your heart desired? Number 4, more fear then faith about what you want. Now, this one is huge because a lot of people have a ton of fear, myself included. For anyone who doesn't know, of late, I actually put in my notice at my Fortune 500 company in a leadership role, making a really decent salary to step out on faith and pursue my business of coaching, digital marketing, affiliate marketing, and a lot of other areas. I kind of have about 8 streams of income right now. And so, based on that, it took a lot of faith to step out and not stay in a place of fear, making myself small, feeling like, what if I do this and it fails and then I'm embarrassed? And what are people going to say? And what are people going to think about me? And just saying, you know what? You have to let that go. If you're being called to do something, then stepping out on faith, doing what you're called to do. And then from that point, the next step will unfold after that, and the next step will unfold after that. So for me, just to give a quick story, I got so many signs that now was the time, to the point that I would open up YouTube and it would say, why haven't you moved where God told you to go? Like that would be the first video. And it was like, oh my gosh, I'm feeling attacked. Like, what is this? And then I'd get a prayer from somebody as a text. And the prayer was like, God gave you everything you're equipped to have. He's ready for you to step forward. People need you and people are waiting on you. Here, read Colossians, you know? Or it would be someone generally sending me a text and saying something. And I had all these signs of, it's your time. You have to step into this. This is what people are looking for. This is your place and your space and all of that for you to do this now. And then I stepped out on faith. I did exactly what I was called to do, which was to put in that notice. And then all the signs stopped. And my faith and fear were fighting with each other. And as you can see right here, fear is false evidence appearing real. My fear started taking over, like, oh my God, what did I do? I was having this like pit of my stomach, emotional roller coaster, right? Of, oh my goodness, I was having all these signs. And now I'm taking the move and I don't have any signs anymore. But then what I had to realize was that the reason that I didn't have any signs is because I took the step of faith. So I didn't need the same signs. I needed to start looking for the new signs that were heading my direction. What were the new signs to look out for? And the new signs were inspired ideas, ways in which I could help coach other people, helping people because they're getting laid off in early 2025 as I'm recording this, and I have over 30 years of HR experience. And how can you bless others and serve others when you have 40, 60 hours a week now that you didn't have before, to be able to be called to serve, right? And so I was like, oh my gosh, I'm having all these new inspired thoughts and new inspired actions and coaching programs that I can offer and resume critiquing and all these things that I wouldn't have been able to do if I was still working at my 9 to 5, because it would be a conflict of interest as a HR person, right? And so just realizing that, this was the perfect time. And even though it'll be hard to know at this stage how everything will play out for the long term, at the same time, it's like you have to step out on faith, because here's the other thing. Everything you want is on the other side of the fear. Everything you want is on the other side of the fear. As soon as I took that leap of faith, I stepped out, and then I said, okay, emotional roller coaster, yes. But then after a while, I was like, oh, I need to look for new signs. Those new signs calmed me so much that now it's like, oh, this is perfect. This is exactly where I'm supposed to be. Even though the world may seem like it's gone crazy on the outside of this, I'm exactly where I'm called and meant to be. And so I know now that once I stepped out on that fear and did something with faith, everything is on the other side of that I need for me to be successful. You have to listen, you have to be patient, and you just have to act. That's the key as well. Action is really important because, lastly, fear and faith can't reside in the same place. If you're fearful of something, that means you don't believe and you don't have faith in it. If you're faithful to something, then what do you fear? So they can't reside in the same place. So if you're walking by faith and not by sight, you're not afraid to take the next step because you know the ground will be there. Yeah, it could be soft ground, it could be hard ground, but you know that the ground will be there. Does it have grass on it? Is it sand? We don't know. Is it a rock? Who knows? But we are stepping out on faith and we're taking the step and then the next step and then the next step because we have the faith that we're not going to fall off the cliff, that we're not going to take a step in, not have something that we're going to plant our feet on solid ground. So based on that, we can't have fear and faith in the same place. So I wanted to share a little of my story on this slide specifically because it really did speak to all of these levels and layers and things that could have held me back from what it is that I really wanted as well. And number 5, not willing to do what it takes to get what you want. Now, we already covered the fact that everything you want is on the other side of fear, right? You have to be willing to take the action and do what you need to do to get there. So it will require you to think differently. When you are getting to that point where you have to move in a different way, be in different circles, hang out with different people, interact with people, get a mentor, get a coach, whatever that is, it's going to require you to think differently because the way you've thought to this point has gotten you to where you are, which is amazing. But just imagine for you to get to your next level, what are you going to have to do? And being willing to do what you have to do to get there, right? So that could mean, for example, flying to Atlanta, investing in a training or some kind of mentorship program, being in rooms where people like Les Brown or Tony Robbins or different people are training so that you can get additional knowledge, and that will automatically, even if you aren't paying attention, it will literally, which who wouldn't, right? You're going, you're paying, you're going to be in the same room or in the same space, or you paid for an audio clip of this or that, whatever it is. But you're going to, through that process, change because something will be said, something will be done that you're going to be like, oh, I didn't even know that. I didn't even think of that. That's so different. And now you can never forget that information. That information is ingrained and it will stay with you and it will help you to think differently. It's going to require an investment of your time. So when you are willing, so this says not willing to do what it takes to get what you want, but when you are willing to do what you need to do in order to get what you want, it's going to require an investment of your time. Time could be listening to audiobooks, maybe even reading a book. It could be taking a course or a webinar like this one. It could be, like I said, flying out, going to a coaching, going to a training, hearing a motivational speaker, whatever the case may be, but it's going to require an investment of your time, because your time is something that you need to pour into in order to move you to your next level. It's not going to happen naturally 9 times out of 10. It could happen. You go to work, they're offering a training, they're offering some kind of, motivational speaker to come. I remember at one of my old jobs, they had the first blind guy to climb Mount Everest. And he came and spoke, and it was extremely powerful. I can't remember his last name because it was a little long. His first name was Eric. And it was an amazingly powerful way to be at work and be inspired, right? So there are times where you just do your normal routine. You just went to work. And now here's this inspirational story that shifts your mindset, that shifts what you think is possible, right? But a lot of times corporations, where you are and the circles you're in, those things don't happen. You might have to step out and go to a networking event to get that, or realize like, oh, there's a meetup. So let me go over here and do this sound bath experience. And now I have something different, right? Or, oh, something's going on over here and this motivational experience is happening at a hotel conference room. Let me go take that. Maybe the Chamber of Commerce is offering something and you go to do that, but it's going to require an investment of your time. But it could also require an investment of your money, right? And so you have to figure out if it will require an investment of your time, of your money. Is that an investment that you're willing to make in yourself? Are you willing to invest in yourself in order for you to get to that next level of where you want to be and what you want to do, right? And so based on that, those are the 5 things Those are the top 5 things that hold people back from what it is that they really, really want. And so, what we're going to do is do a quick review to help you to kind of see what it is, make sure you didn't miss a thing in regards to this training. And then, if there are any questions, I'll answer those as well. But we're going to hop right into this. And so, again, when was the last time you truly thought about what it is that you wanted? Not just going through your regular day to day routine, but truly thought about what is it that I actually want? Are your intentions clear? Have you really thought through and said, this is what I intend, or this is my goal? Same difference, but just intentions gives a little bit more room for God, in my opinion. But what are my intentions, and what is it that I really want to obtain, be able to do, be able to have, all of those things? And then, is that clear? And then, have you written it out and made it plain? I know that I'm a part of a group where they actually have a goal card, a GOAL, not GOLD, but a goal card where you write out your goal on this card, you keep it on you at all times. And that way it's a constant reminder of what your intention is, what your goal is for yourself. And funny enough, that particular goal card that I had a date of when I was going to put in my notice with my company that I had picked, like just a random date out in the future. And that was the day that I pressed send on my email to my company to say, yeah, it feels right. This is the day that this is going to happen. So, anyway, again, sometimes just writing it out and making it plain is very, very important. Now, have you ever verbalized what it is that you want? Have you said it out loud? So that is really important. Is it an affirmation for you? If so, just think of what that is. Maybe it's 2 or 3 affirmations. Maybe it's 5, like I post every day. But whatever it is, just make sure that you are verbally saying that. And it could be you wake up in the morning and you say, I'm so happy and grateful now that and then you put whatever it is that you already see in your future to be true for you. So maybe you're not there yet, but you can say, I'm so happy and grateful now that I am at my ideal weight. I'm healthy, right? So I'm so happy and grateful now that I, have that promotion at my job. Now that I'm an entrepreneur, whatever it is, but say it in the present tense. Don't say it as though it's always in the future, because then it will always remain in the future. You'll always be chasing it. You have to say it as though it's happened right now, like you're living it and you're experiencing it right now. And then once that comes to pass, the interesting thing that'll happen is that you'll be like, okay, it happened. I can't believe it. I can't believe it actually happened. But the interesting thing is that it's not the same as it happening out of the blue, because you've already lived it in your mind so much over and over and over again that sometimes it kind of takes the excitement away from it, because it's like, oh yeah, it happened, but I knew it was going to happen. I already had experienced it having happened. I already said I was happy and grateful that it had happened. So now that I'm living it and experiencing it in this moment, it's amazing. I feel blessed. I'm grateful, but it's not that overwhelming excitement because it's already happened in my mind over and over and over again, if that makes sense, right? But trust me, it doesn't take away from the pleasure and the joy of getting to that point. And I know personally in regards to that, you have to see it before you can seize it. So after you verbalize it, you have to see it in your mind's eye before you can see it in your reality. And you have to express gratitude for what you already have. Again, it not only goes to the statement of, I'm so happy and grateful now that, and then putting what has happened, but also, I'm grateful for my home. I'm grateful that I have a car to drive. I'm grateful for my mom and dad still living. I'm grateful for my siblings. I'm grateful for the eyes to see this. I'm grateful for the ears to see this. I'm grateful for the ears to hear this. I'm grateful for my dog. Like whatever it is, like what are you grateful for in this moment? Now, you might not be able to pay a bill, I mean, that's the reality. There's people being laid off all around, excuse me, all around. And so you may not be able to do certain things. You may not be able to go on that exotic vacation, right? You may not be able to do some things that you really want to do, but what are you grateful for today? Because the more you're grateful for now, the more that you'll be given and in abundance will flow to you, because it's like, at least they're grateful. At least you're grateful. So therefore, more can come in your way versus, It's the norm. I'm never going to have anything. It's always going to be terrible for me. I'm always going to have horrible luck at this, and nobody's ever going to give me anything. And I'm never going to have all these things that I desire to have on this earth. I just have to wait till I get to heaven, and there's nothing that's ever going to happen that works for me. If you have that mindset, guess what? As the genie would say, your wish is my command. And more of the same is going to come your way. And you may not believe that to be true, but if you do have that negative self-talk on a consistent basis, just think about how many times something positive has happened as you're speaking so much negativity. And oh, by the way, even if something positive has happened as you're speaking all that negativity, how many times have you seen it and said, it's not going to last? It's not going to work. I mean, it's great that it happened right this moment, but something, another shoe's going to drop eventually. Like you may not even see the positive in it because you're so focused on the negative. So that's something to keep in mind as well, is how can you take any situation and figure out how to flip it around and make it more of a positive situation so that you can express that gratitude for what is happening as it's happening. All right. And has there been anything that has happened in your past that has impacted your belief? Again, kids, it's mine. I deserve it. I should have it. Don't touch that. This is mine. I think that's one of the first words some kids may learn is mine, 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 right? So if you, as a child who has no other cognitive understanding other than I'm here, I've been born, my parents love me, and that's mine. If that is the mindset of like a 1-year-old, a 2-year-old, a 3-year-old, where in our lives did it switch to say, I can't have that. That's not going to happen for me. That always happens for everybody else. I'm not that lucky. Where did that shift? Where did that happen? And really delve into figuring that out. Maybe that's a part that you can journal about and say, okay, why do I feel this way? Why does that dread? And all I'm thinking is that movie Inside Out, where it's like that poor, sad, blue person who's just like, it's not going to happen for me. This isn't going to work out. Oh, all I do is worry and regret, like how do we get to that person versus somebody who experiences joy, who experiences success, who experiences abundance, right? So we have to figure these things out for ourselves so that we can move ourselves to our next level. And of course, having someone as a coach can help you with that also. But also, let's go to the next screen. That's what it was. So think of a time when something you believed in came true. So again, if you're constantly thinking from a negative perspective, when was it that something you believed in absolutely did come true for you? And what did that feel like? And did you see that it was positive? Did you see the blessing in it? Were you grateful for it? Did you thank the Lord for it? Well, whatever it is. But did you actually have something that worked out in your favor? And did you see it as something positive? Or were you still waiting for the next shoe to drop and see it as something negative? And again, if you had that genie in a bottle, what would you ask for? Your wish is my command. So therefore, if it's something positive, your wish is my command. You have asked for this, your wish is my command. If it is something negative, your wish is my command. Think about how many times you think of a person. This is not going to be a positive or negative. This is just going to be a time that you just do some thinking. And you think about somebody and you're like, I haven't heard from or talked to such and such in forever. I wonder what they're doing. I hope they're doing okay. And then lo and behold, somebody brings that person up. Somebody talks about, oh, I saw that person. I bumped into them. I had a phone call from them. You may not even bring up anything about that person, but something else will happen that will make other people draw that person to you. Or you could be walking through the grocery store and guess what? You bump into that person. Has anybody ever experienced that, right? And so the reason that that happens is because of the fact that you put something out there of a particular person, and then the universe just acted on that. So just imagine if you put something out there about success, putting something out there verbally about, abundance, putting something verbally out there that you're grateful for, and then lo and behold, more of the same starts coming in your direction. So that's kind of a lot about that GD kind of wishes my command situation as well. It's just ensuring that you ask and you expect You have to expect that it can happen, right? That's where the faith comes in. You expect that the ground's going to be there, but you're going to expect that, I said this, it's probably pretty soon somebody's probably going to talk to me about that person. Just wait and see, and just come from a more positive perspective. Now, we're going to get into that fear. So, fear is false evidence appearing real. It's not real. It's all in our head. It's all in our mind. There is nothing about fear that is true. A lot of times, whatever we fear the most, after we get through something, we realize, why was I even afraid of that in the first place? There was really nothing to fear about it. Nothing bad happened. I was nervous, but nothing happened, right? So we have worried, we have changed things around, we have made things such that it created this situation where we gave it so much energy and it was towards the negative because we were fearful and afraid of it. But the reality is none of that actually came to pass. So that's one of the things that we have to realize, that, fear is something that may not and probably does not serve us, right? Faith is what serves us. So, and everything you want is on the other side of fear. Everything you want. It's kind of like one of those things with the free will, right? Everything you want will be on the other side of what you actually fear the most. And it's the craziest thing. So if you want to be, as an example, you might say to yourself, oh, I just want to do this, right? I want to be an author, right? I want to be an author. Well, you have to get onto the other side of knowing that, hey, well, with being an author might come radio interviews, TV interviews, motivational speaking talks, and standing up in front of hundreds or thousands of people. Are all of those things the things that you might feel like you want to go along with being an author? And so even if you do write the book, there could be some other aspects to it that I'm afraid of. I don't want to do. But then how much success are you going to have if you limit yourself and if you play small? So therefore, it's like there's going to be some things on the other side of that, right? That you're going to have to work through, that you're going to have to get through. Oh, now I got to do social media. Now I got to do content creation. Now I got to make a video of myself. I don't even want to see myself. That's why I want to be an author. So people can just see my book. They don't have to see me, right? So there's going to be things that you're afraid of doing, that's going to be out of your comfort zone of doing, but you're still going to have to do them in order to see your full potential come to pass. Because just having a book and you're not even, promoting it, going out, talking about it, showing yourself, all of those things, it can limit the amount of success you can have, even though it's your passion and it is what you want to do, right? And you can't have fear and faith at the same time. They cannot be present in the same space. You're either fearful about it or you're faithful about it. And that's just how it is. So you get to decide which you will be. Are you going to be fearful? Are you going to be faithful? And realizing that, okay, if I'm choosing this path, then I have to kind of, walk by faith, not by sight. Or I'm going to choose this path and stay where I am, stay stuck, stay unmotivated, stay in the same place and space, and be okay with that, because you have to make those types of decisions to see what the next step will be from there, right? It's like driving a car. When you put your foot on that brake, you're expecting and you have faith that the brakes are going to work. So again, walking, car, whatever, it's the faith over the fear. And that is what, as I mentioned, will absolutely serve you the most. If you continue to let fear hold you back, you will never accomplish everything that you've been called to accomplish while you're here. Now, doing all of this is going to require you to think differently. You are going to have to think differently in order to get a different result. And it's not to say that the results that you have gotten to this point aren't great. That is not what we're saying at all. It's just to say that in order for you to get to your next level, because a lot of times people have that desire, there's some people who are just content. Where I am is great. I got a job I love. My family is wonderful. Everything's content. Everything's amazing. I can take a vacation here and there. I have no cares and no worries, man, as they say in Jamaica, right? There's no worries. Everything's amazing. Then that's wonderful for that person. But you have other people who are like, I kind of have a desire for more. I have a need, I have this ability to kind of see my vision of my future, and it's more. This is great, but this isn't enough. And it's not to say it's from a perspective of I need to have more, like a kid, mine, more. It's from a perspective of no, there's more that I can do. The more that I have, the more I can do to serve others. It's kind of the thought process, right? It's like Oprah says, once you become a multimillionaire, whoever you are at your core, you're just going to be more of. So if you're giving, you're going to be more giving. If you're kind, you're going to be more kind. If you're a jerk, you're going to be more of a jerk, right? Because the money kind of stops all those filters. But just knowing that, hey, sometimes you're blessed to be a blessing. And so you have to look at things from that perspective as well. And thinking differently, as well as investing in yourself and your time, is really important. So invest your time. Go to webinars, listen to seminars, get a coach, read a book, get an audio book, listen to a podcast, like whatever it is to help feed yourself and feed your mind from a time perspective and just investment of yourself perspective. Those things are going to be huge. So I kind of hit both of those at the same time, but investing your time and investing in yourself are really, really key in order for you to go from stuck to unstuck, right? From complacent to like just over the moon, excited, fulfilled, and purpose driven. All right. And so, what did we learn? What is the biggest aha moment that you took away from today's lesson? What stood out to you and made you say, I think I'm going to implement this going forward. This is what I know for sure that I want to kind of think about and focus on and do differently so I can have a different result. What are you going to do differently, right? So that's really important. Oh, and some of these popped up in a different order, but based on what you learned in this training, what is the first thing that you want to do differently? So you got some ahas. This is what I'm going to do differently. It's like, okay, I've already unlocked. You have a free guide that you have actually received already within the Victorious Movement community. And you also have access to free guides in my Coached by Lenora website. So it's HTTPS and then the colon and the slash, and then Coached by Lenora. And there's free guides in there in regards to, we have here the 5 things that, hold you back, but we also have the 5 reasons that people might not be ready to pursue their purpose. So there's absolutely ways that you can get and unlock some of the free things that we have available for you with Coached by Lenora, right? And so now it's just, is this the end of the journey, or are there some other things that you feel as though can really help you as you're investing in yourself to get yourself to your next level, right? How do you disrupt the current patterns so that that way you're not the same place today, and then you're the same place from a year from now, and you're the same place 7 years from now, and you're just like going through the motions, right? And so one of the things that we can do is talk through what are some aspects of all of these things that you could potentially want to grow in, to move in, to understand better, right? So all of these things are things that the Victorious Movement, if you're in this community, we go through a lot of these things within that community, and it's for such a nominal fee. Like, it is not expensive at all to be a part of the Victorious Movement community, and you can get information on these areas pretty much anytime that you want. There's a lot of on-demand courses. There's a lot of on-demand information that you can just check out there. However, I have a couple of additional offers for you in case you are interested in maybe probing into things a little bit differently, right? So one thing that I am offering is called to coach. So if you feel like you have been called to motivate, inspire, and coach other people, you can register for my free webinar and find out more about my signature coaching program. It's called Cure to Coaching, the Cure to Coaching formula. And so basically, it's a signature program that I developed, and it takes people from 0 to having paid coaching clients in 6 weeks. So that is something that I absolutely want to offer to anyone who might be interested. If you go to the webinar, I even have an additional additional discount that people can get for participating in that particular course for those who are interested and ready to kind of take that next step, that next leap from being somebody who's a student to being somebody who, hey, I've experienced some things. I've gone through a divorce. I've lost the weight. I stopped smoking. I built my own business and I, do the best lashes in town, whatever it is. But all of those things, if you have a skill set or even a corporate opportunity that you're like, oh, I know this like the back of my hand, but I got laid off. It's not a conflict of interest anymore because all of my knowledge that I had in regards to data analysis or all the knowledge that I had in regards to human resources, as I mentioned for myself, or all the information that I have in regards to supply chain management or, whatever those things are that people have learned skills while they were in corporate America and now they are actually unemployed and out of work, you can become a coach maybe even quicker than it would be for you to get another job while so many other people are out looking for work. And you can actually start having paid clients reaching out to you and giving you the opportunity to help them get to their next level. Because as they're investing in you, they're truly investing in themselves. They're investing in, "Oh, this is what I want to do. This is what I need knowledge on. This is what I need access to." And you've already been there. You're a step or two or three above them on the ladder, rungs ahead. And based on that, you can reach and pull. Reach and pull, reach and pull. We don't want to be the crab in the barrel mentality of pulling people down. Oh, you getting ahead of me? Nope, I'm gonna pull you down. No, we want to be of, can we boost you up? Can we help you up? Can you even move faster than me? That's amazing. Like all of those things are the things that we want to do to kind of move people forward when you're called to coach. And so that is why for anybody who's interested, we have Call to Coach that you can go to. You really go to my stand store, or you can go to Coach by Lenora, and then you can click on the Call to Coach registration for the webinar, and that's where you will find that information. Now, also, I have one-on-one coaching as well as 3 to Thrive coaching. Excuse me, I don't know what's going on. It's allergy season. So 3 to Thrive is really a great way for people to experience coaching when they're nervous, when they're scared, when they're not familiar with it, and they're like, I don't know if this is for me. So for $33, $11 per session, a person can decide, I want to do 3 really quick 30-minute sessions with Coach Lenora, have some conversations, and just determine what my potential next step could be from here. So people could sign up for the $33, get 3 coaching sessions and say, okay, thank you, Coach Lenora. I'm done. I have everything that I need to be successful. Or they could say, oh, I like this. Let's continue on the journey and go from here, right? And so that's kind of the sneak peek to then go into the actual coaching program. And then you also have one-on-one coaching where somebody could say, you know what, I'm going to need some locked in time. I'm going to need a good hour or so to just delve in and get really deep in regards to where I'm trying to go and what I'm trying to do. And so in the chat, I'm going to put a link so that way you can be able to register for that as well. Okay. So thank you all so much for your time. Please remember that only you can create your life on your terms, and you get to decide what you would like to do and who you would like to become. Where you would like to be and who you would like to become. So basically, all of those things that are happening for you are happening for you for a reason. So please know that everything that you want is on the other side of the fear. And once you put that into perspective and put that, and you know that is true, then that's when you'll really see some true results. So thank you all so much for participating in the webinar. I appreciate you all. Are there any questions? Oh, thank you. Thank you. No. All right. Well, everybody have an amazing, amazing time. Thank you again for everybody coming in and participating and being a part of this webinar series. We'll do it again in another 2 weeks. I'm going to take the video link of this, if I can figure out how to do it, because this is the first one. I'm going to put it in the community, so the Victorious Movement community, so you all can see it and be able to watch on demand in case you missed it.